From Teman to Herod, the Edomite Legacy Behind Greek and Macedonian History. By Christopher Turner. But first, a word from our sponsors. Jacob's Trouble, Birth of a King. The highly anticipated continuation of the Jacob's Trouble series is now available for pre-order on Amazon. Dive into apocalyptic judgment, the restoration of Zion, and the rise of the millennial kingdom. Christopher Turner masterfully explores scripture and prophecy, unveiling Yahweh's role in the destiny of the true Israelite nation. Pre-order your copy today on Amazon. The Freedom Articles, coming soon. The Freedom Articles is a powerful collection of essays exposing false doctrines, reclaiming Israelite heritage, and revealing the unbreakable truths of Scripture. Prepare for a transformative journey into Yahweh's covenantal promises, and their prophetic fulfillment. Stay tuned for the release date and updates at Heritage Weekly. Support these works and uncover the truth. Claim your copies today. Now back to history. From Teman to Herod, the Edomite Legacy Behind Greek and Macedonian History. Herod the Great, known as the Roman-appointed ruler of Judea, represents the culmination of a centuries-long strategy by the descendants of Esau to infiltrate, survive, and dominate. His rise was no accident. It was the result of Edomite cunning, survival instincts, and integration into powerful empires. The Idumeans, Edomites, not only shaped the landscape of Judea during the Roman era, but left an indelible mark on Greek and Macedonian traditions through the migration and influence of Teman's descendants. By the time of the Roman destruction of Jerusalem in 70 CE, the Edomites had demonstrated their capacity to thrive in times of chaos, even as the ethnic Israelites faced devastation, enslavement and dispersion. Josephus's detailed accounts, biblical prophecy, and archaeological evidence reveal a tale of two destinies: the opportunistic survival of Edom, and the divine judgment upon Israel. Edomite migration, and the rise of Macedonian kingship. The Table of Nations in Genesis 10 maps the genealogical origins of Noah's descendants. While Javan, a son of Japheth, is traditionally linked to the Greeks, the Bible leaves a significant gap regarding the origins of Macedonia. This omission raises an important question: if Macedonia was not Japhethite, who founded it? The answer lies with the Edomites, particularly the house of Teman. Teman, Esau's grandson and a chief of Edom, Genesis 36:11-15, was renowned for his wisdom and leadership. Jeremiah 49:7, Obadiah 1:8-9. Teman's descendants may have migrated northward during the patriarchal period c. 2000-1500s BCE, carrying their cultural traditions into regions that would later become Macedonia and Greece. The Edomite legacy is reflected in Heracles Hercules, a central figure in Greek mythology who embodies the Edomite traits of strength, dominance and survival. Macedonian royal mythology claims descent from Temenus, a supposed Heraclean descendant whose name echoes Teman. This connection ties Macedonian kingship directly to Edomite heritage, rebranded through Hellenistic traditions. Herod's name, derived from Heracles, reinforces this link. Far from being a mere Hellenistic adoption, it reflects the Edomite legacy of the House of Teman, which shaped Greek, Macedonian and Judean power structures. Josephus on the Idumeans and the Siege of Jerusalem. By the time of the Roman Siege of Jerusalem, the Idumeans Edomites had fully integrated into Judean society while maintaining their opportunistic tendencies. Josephus's detailed accounts in the Wars of the Jews provide invaluable insights into the role of 20,000 Idumeans during the revolt. Josephus recounts how the Idumeans entered Jerusalem under the pretense of aiding their Jewish brethren, but instead unleashed terror on the city's inhabitants. Mass slaughter. They rushed upon the people as upon a flock of profane animals and cut their throats, and for the other multitude, they esteemed it needless to go on with killing them. The Wars of the Jews, Book 4, Chapter 5. Exploitation of chaos. The Idumeans slaughtered over 8,500 people and looted the city. Their actions demonstrated not loyalty but an ability to exploit turmoil for personal gain. They made the whole city run with blood, to such a degree indeed, that the fire of many of the houses was quenched with these men's blood. The Wars of the Jews, Book 4, Chapter 5. The Idumeans' behavior highlights their opportunistic nature, aligning with the Edomite legacy of survival through cunning and betrayal. Once Jerusalem fell, the Idumeans avoided the systematic enslavement and scattering that befell the ethnic Israelites, likely leveraging Roman connections to secure safety. Idumean migration to Babylon and the Colonymus connection. While Josephus does not specify where the Idumeans went after the fall of Jerusalem, their historical patterns and Roman connections suggest many relocated to Babylon. Babylon, a hub for Jewish commerce and scholarship, had been home to large Jewish populations since the Babylonian exile, in the 6th century BCE. The Idumeans, already integrated into Jewish society following their forced conversion under John Hyrcanus, would have found refuge and opportunity in Babylon's thriving communities. Josephus confirms the Idumeans' full assimilation into Jewish life. On their Judaization, the Idumeans were not subdued by war, but were made to come over to the laws of the Jews by persuasion, and they willingly submitted to circumcision, and to the rest of the Jewish ways of living. Antiquities of the Jews, Book 13 Chapter 9. From this migration, the Colonymus family emerged, becoming a prominent lineage within Babylonian Jewish communities. The Colonymus family later migrated to Italy and Germany, playing a pivotal role in the development of Ashkenazi Jewish scholarship. Their rise demonstrates how the Edomites, through integration and influence, shaped post-temple Judaism and European traditions. The fate of the ethnic Israelites. In stark contrast to the Idumean survival, the ethnic Israelites suffered unparalleled devastation during the Roman siege. Josephus records death and enslavement. The number of those that were carried captive during this whole war was collected to be 97,000, as was the number of those that perished during the whole siege, 1,100,000. The Wars of the Jews, Book 6, Chapter 9. Prophecy fulfilled. This aligns with Luke 21:24, where Yahawashi prophesied, "And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled." Scattering to Africa and the Four Corners. Many Israelites were sold into slavery in North Africa, fulfilling Deuteronomy 28:68. "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you." Others fled southward into Africa, where they would later face the horrors of the transatlantic slave trade, fulfilling Yahweh's judgment, and scattering them to the four corners of the earth, Deuteronomy 28:64. Conclusion. Edomite survival and Israelite judgment. The 20,000 Idumeans' betrayal during the siege of Jerusalem, their migration to Babylon, and the rise of the Colonymus family, demonstrate Edom's cunning and adaptability. In contrast, the ethnic Israelites face divine judgment, scattering and enslavement, fulfilling the prophecies of Luke 21:24 and Deuteronomy 28. Herod, with his name tied to Heracles and Temenus, epitomizes the Edomite ability to align themselves with dominant cultures. From Teman's migration possibilities to Haman's influence in Persia and Macedonia, and from Herod's reign in Judea, to the Colonymus family's prominence in Europe, the Edomite story is one of survival and usurpation. Malachi 1:4 declares, "Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places." From Teman to Babylon, from Herod to the Colonymus family, Edom's legacy challenges conventional narratives, proving that their influence endures in the foundations of civilization itself. By Christopher Turner, Heritage Weekly founder and editor-in-chief. Expert theologist specializing in Israelite heritage and covenant theology. Biblical scholar and cultural historian, focusing on ancient scriptures and the lost tribes of Israel. Author of Rediscovering Israel, a comprehensive study of covenantal promises and the scattered tribes. Author of Jacob's Trouble, The Birth of a King, an exploration of apocalyptic judgment, and the restoration of Zion. Author of the Freedom Articles, Exposing Pagan Lies, Restoring Israel's Hidden Heritage, and Reclaiming True Scriptural Power, an in-depth examination of scriptural truths and Israelite restoration. Contributor to theological journals, Insights on Hebrew Texts, Prophecy and New Testament Context. Public speaker discussing Israelite identity, prophecy and scriptural truth in the modern age. Covenant theology researcher unveiling the promises made to Israel and their fulfillment.